Good morning, Dana Coleman here, Director of Operations with PMA Web Services. I'd like to welcome you to PMA Facebook Live, and thank you for joining us this morning. Now, spring is around the corner, and when I think of spring, I typically think of spring cleaning, like cleaning out the garage or decluttering the closet, things like that. But at PMA, we thought of the top 10 ways to help spring clean your business. So number one, you've probably heard this one before, declutter your workspace. There have been numerous studies on how effective this is for thinking and efficiency. Literally cleaning your desk, cleaning up your office. When there's clutter, it's hard to find things. It's hard to focus. It's difficult. It even affects memory retention. So declutter your workspace, clean off your desk, make sure things are neat, nice and tidy. Now, if you're like me, you're saying, hey, my desk is spick and span. I can skip number one. Well, you may be forgetting a really important area, and that is your desk drawers. I know the last time I cleaned my desk, the top is spick and span, not much there, but I went through my drawers and I ended up finding some really important receipts that could be used as tax deductions. And if I hadn't found those, I would have been missing out on some really important tax deductions. Also, I notice in my drawers, let's say I'm listening to my favorite podcast or reading a book at my computer, at my desk, and there's an idea. I have a light bulb moment, and I think, wow, I can really use this, or use this with my team. And I jot it down on the corner of a Post-it note, and it gets shoved in the back of one of my desk drawers and kind of lost. And but with little help of cleaning, you can find those things, those lost ideas, and actually implement them and use them. So don't forget about the desk drawers while you are decluttering your workspace. Number two, revamp your marketing strategies. Now, if you've been following our PMA blog and our Facebook Live videos, you'll have noticed a trend of, we have mentioned repeatedly how crucial and how important it is to have a content calendar for your digital marketing strategy. So if you don't have one already, it's still not too late, literally. I know I said this last week and I believe the week before. It's not too late to have one for the year of 2018. Take a few minutes, go back to the blog where we go over creating a content schedule and a content calendar. And you don't have to, just because you missed some months doesn't mean you missed out on the whole year. And it will literally help you lay out a calendar. It has some great ideas as far as content itself. And like I said, great tips there. Don't miss out on that. And when you do have a content calendar and you're organized, you can also track engagement. And if you're not tracking engagement, it's a great time to start. But if you are, it's a good time to reflect on that and see how you're doing. How can you make your plan more effective? This is a time when you can think about tweaking things to make them more effective. Number three, revamp your business plan. Now, maybe when you decluttered your desk, you found your business plan pushed way back in one of your desk drawers. If you're like me, that's probably where it was. You need to pick it up, get the dust off of it, and take a look at it again. Now, something that I think is really important is actually putting your plan, your business plan, literally front and center or somewhere on your walls in your office where you can see it every day, because out of sight, out of mind, that will happen with your business plan. And all of these great ideas that you are going to implement or were implementing kind of go to the wayside when you put your business plan where you can't see it and you aren't reading it and you aren't looking at it. So pull your business plan out. If you aren't a fan of actually putting it where you can see it on your wall, share it with a mentor and perhaps they can help keep you accountable. Number 4, if you have a team, it's a really good time to have a team call. Check in with your team. Also, I'm a big fan of not just having a team call, but checking in with your team members individually. When you check in individually, you will learn a lot about what's going on usually with your team members. They're more likely to share how they feel. Are they feeling overwhelmed? Is their workload just too much right now? What can you do to help them? Sometimes that means bringing on a new team member to help with the overwhelm. Also, another thing I've learned is if you don't ask, you probably won't, well, you won't always find out. Team members tend to grow their skill set and they may not remember to share it with you. And you may be able to offer new services if they're willing to use their new skill set on the team. So it's a really good time to check in with team members for a multitude of reasons. Number 5, freshen up your lead magnet. If you don't have a lead magnet, it's time to create one. Number 6, re-engage your email list. A great idea to re-engage your list is, in my opinion, to offer a complimentary webinar with a Q&A session, an open Q&A session. Number 7, review your autoresponders. Are they still relevant? Pull someone in from your team if you have somebody, and if you have a team, pull someone and list them to go over your autoresponders and make sure that everything has been tested and the sequences have been tested and make sense and work. Also, a fresh set of eagle eyes, a new set of eyes to go over your autoresponders. It's a great idea. Someone other than yourself or someone who hasn't looked at them before, fresh set of eyes is worth its weight in gold because they can highlight areas that could be changed and they see things that maybe you don't see because you've read them over so many times. Check your finances is number 8. Now, that specifically is spending, your expenses. I noticed at the beginning of the year, I tend to do it, a lot of people do it, at the beginning of the year, at the new year, we tend to make purchases with programs that involve organization or things we really think we're going to use or things we start using at the beginning of the year, and sometimes they go to the wayside or we don't find them that helpful. If you notice you are paying for all these monthly fees for maybe pro versions of programs and you're not utilizing them at all, it's time to cancel them. You're wasting money. You're throwing money out the window, literally. So you can use that money elsewhere. And it's also just a time to think about how you can make sure your business is running as lean as possible. Number 9, are you as efficient as you can be? Now, there's a great tip that I learned on a webinar where what you do, I'm going to share this with you. What you do is you take one day and you dedicate this day to tracking yourself and everything you do that day. So take a pen and paper, yes, a pen and paper, because you want to be away from the computer for this portion. And as soon as you sit down at your desk, you want to write down the time and you want to write down everything you do. I mean, that can be opening up this Slack message, that Slack message, this inbox, that inbox, all your emails, responding to emails, answering the phone, even if it's a personal phone call. Write it down. I know it's time consuming and it sounds a little daunting, but it is so beyond helpful having some perspective and understanding where you're spending your time. Because as an entrepreneur, you may be able to bring in somebody to delegate things to. You may be spending your time where you don't feel it's the best areas to spend your time. You may be kind of wasting your time. And it's easy for that to happen, and your days can become really hectic and unnecessarily hectic, and you can go in and tweak things so you're more efficient and you're spending your time where you need to be spending it, and doing what you're passionate about with your business and where you need to be spending your time. A good example of this is, let's say you work from a home office or you take your pet to your office. Dog walking. Now, I'm someone, I look at dog walking I live in Florida. It's a great time to get fresh air and sunshine on my face. But you could have days where you're so busy, either you don't want to deal with the weather, the climate you live in, and you're so busy and you have team calls, calls with clients, weekly client calls, and you just don't have the time, and you realize you're spending all this time walking your dog. Maybe check out one of the many dog walking services. I know there's WAG and there's Rover. That can eliminate that stress from your day. And like I said, maybe you could just do it on certain days where you have, let's say, the most calls or the really important calls with your weekly calls with your clients. And, if you don't have the budget to do it every day, have someone come in on those days, maybe 2 days a week or 1 day a week. It's a really good idea. And also, when you're reviewing everything that you have tracked, don't review it that day. Take another day. And when you have some quiet time and you really can have some perspective on everything. Now, number 10, this is something we're going to love to hear. Clean up your inbox. Well, clean up your inbox by unsubscribing to all promotional emails that you have subscribed to over the years or months or years that you don't read anymore. We've all done it. We maybe subscribed to something for one reason or another. Maybe we loved it at one point, or we did it for another reason. And you start getting them and you realize you aren't reading them. And if you're like me, you filter them to like an inbox where you check it later in the week when you have some free time. With me, that just means delete usually. And it's clutter, it's extra clutter. So this is spring cleaning. So go ahead and unsubscribe from all of them. If you have an overwhelming amount, maybe have a goal of unsubscribing 5 a day. And, for a week, and before you know it, you will have unsubscribed from all of them. Now, we do have a bonus tip. Spring's around the corner. That means the summer months are even closer. And with the summer months, you want to start thinking about something you deserve. A vacation with your family, or a vacation with your friends, your loved ones, spending time with your kids, your spouse. So with the proper planning, you are the only one who can give yourself a vacation. So make it happen. Don't neglect the time. A lot of entrepreneurs become so busy and wrapped up in their business, they kind of neglect and forget to spend time with their family. Not everybody, but it does happen to all of us at times. So with all of the strategies you've put in place and lots of planning ahead of time, you certainly will be able to spend some time with your friends and family and take care of yourself. Plan a spa day for yourself as well. But with proper planning, your clients will be taken care of, your team will be taken care of, and most likely the best thing of all is you'll be taken care of. You'll be taking care of yourself, because self-care is very important staying connected to your friends and family is also very important. Now, I'd like to thank you for tuning in. If you have any tips or anything, if you'd like to share your woes of spring cleaning your business or spring cleaning in general, we would love to hear from you. If you haven't already, go ahead and hit that like button, hit the thumbs up, and we will see you next week. Thank you for tuning in.